from our own planes that are assisting the infantry just up ahead of us. Japanese mortars and also small arms fire are dropping around us.
The Marine Air Ground Task Force is the backbone of what the Marine Corps does as a fighting force as a whole.
This is a concept we came up with after the Korean War in the 1950 to 53 timeframe. And what it is a task organization of Marines that includes the ground combat element, the aviation element, the air combat element, or ACE, and it also includes the support personnel. This organization is sized to whatever the need is. We can go as small as a platoon of Marines to go in and help a small evacuation mission or a small natural disaster calamity anywhere in the world with a small number of Marine Corps helicopters and a small supply train.
Imagine, if you will, trying to accomplish a task and you need every element, whether it be air, so aviation elements, you have to have your ground combat element, your infantry. You also have to have artillery support. The infantry's got to get somewhere if they're not going to use aviation assets. So we have our trackers. They have engineers to help them to breach an obstacle, etc. And you have all the supplies and logistics that come with doing that through your logistics combat element. So the MAGTF as a whole can't function without every one of those assets or entities and all those Marines, those people putting forth their best effort. Because if you look at it, everything the Marine Corps does, no matter what MOS it is, it's somehow, some way tied to a Lance Corporal kicking a door in a city somewhere, or a platoon or a company taking it to a fight to an enemy somewhere.
Ultimately, that individual Marine, that PFC, that Lance Corporal on the ground, needs to have the faith in that commander that the Marine Corps is not going to string him out to dry. We're going to use all of our assets and everything available at our disposal to support him when he needs it the most.
We prosecuted multiple BCRs down on the airport earlier in the place. And we've also prosecuted a convoy.
And it is designed to help out or to assist in the taking of an objective of an infantry battalion, if you really look at it.
That's the thing about the Marine Air Ground Task Force, is that they can quickly respond to any kind of situation that happens throughout the world. Bring everything that we have to the fight without relying on someone else. You have everything at your disposal, especially as a squad leader. You know, I'm able to utilize air, I'm able to utilize tanks, artillery, because that's all at my disposal. Just pick up a radio and call in air, or call in tank support, or request snipers observing, anything that I need, I can immediately call and have it readily available to me.
Here we go.
And as Marines, especially infantry, we heavily rely upon all that support when we're conducting operations, whether it be Afghanistan or Iraq. That's the most, impressive thing about the MAGTF.
Logistics combat element, the embedded transportation in the ground combat element, or air assets, aviation assets, specifically air assault from the aviation combat element would take them from point A to point B. And then obviously if it was on the ship, the Navy would help us out with that. Going from once you get there to how you do it, they have to have supplies to do it. Someone supplies the Marine Corps, the Marines on the ground, the ammunition, food, water, equipment to do their job. And that would come from our logistics combat element and would filter down into the ground combat element. The planning is extremely detailed and is very important. That's all done by the leadership inside the MAGTF that helps plan that through one boss, the commander. And then once they're out there, they're going to execute that game plan and they're going to flex to it. Your mission is not going to go as you plan it, and the plan that goes into it is going to help you flex to that mission. And that's one thing that the MAGTF is very good at, is flexing to any sort of mission set that we can do. I mean, the other services are great, and they're very good at different things. The Army is much bigger than the Marine Corps, and their sustainment ability is unreal. But the flexibility, doing a lot with a little, is one of the things that the Marine Corps is very proud of. We do a lot with less.
Our nation's armed forces now number 1% of our population, and 1/10 of that armed forces are United States Marines. We are literally 1/10 of 1% of our nation, and yet our reputation stands. The MAGTF is such a flexible unit because you can have the three different components be as large or small as necessary. But as long as all three components are there, then you have a MAGTF. The only reason the Marine Corps has aviation is close air support of those Marines on the ground. Otherwise, we would have no need for aviation.
I think it's the best thing the Marine Corps has, is it's the way we fight. It makes us a scalable force, the nation's force in readiness. That's really the best part about it.
The smallest level that normally we operate with, now we can task organize any size we need, but the smallest unit is the MU, the Marine Expeditionary Unit, and that is composed of a composite squadron with 5 different types of aircraft. That's tied with a battalion, somewhere in the neighborhood of 900 grunt Marines that are highly trained, highly skilled warriors, boots on the ground. There's a tank platoon, a platoon of Marine Corps M1A1 Abrams tanks. There is an amphibious tractor platoon that can carry the Marines ashore in amphibious tractors, along with the helicopters that operate from the flight deck of one of the amphibious ships. And then, of course, you've got the combat service support element that's there to supply whatever the Marines need. They're covered by a Navy carrier battle group that shadows this amphibious ready group with F-18s aboard, including Marine F-18s on the aircraft carriers that cover the Marines should they have to make a landing. That's the small unit, that's the MU.
At a moment's notice anywhere in the world, they can respond, and they do respond to any crises that erupts, whether it be Libya, whether it be the tsunami in Japan. Anywhere that there is trouble, the Marine Expeditionary Unit can go into that. And that is a culminating point of what a true MAGTF is based on the assets they have at sea, the logistics they're going to have to require to go execute the operation, and then them actually executing the operation and the plan that goes into it. Anywhere at any time in the world at a moment's notice, the Marine Expeditionary Unit can be called upon to do just about anything.
What makes us unique is our ability, because we have all of those elements in our own force. We have the ground Marines. We have an extraordinary Marine Air Force. And to top it all off, then, we have an extraordinary list of capabilities with our combat service support. This organization is, Lord knows, one of the premier battle organizations in the entire world because of this full, complete package that we hit the beach with. But it is much more than that. It is a disaster relief organization without equal anywhere in the world. Nobody does it better than the United States Marine Corps, with 10% of our nation's armed forces and 5% of the armed forces budget. We provide this capability worldwide. There is nothing that can stop us.